Passions ignite at the Hononegah School Board meeting as parents, community members, and more speak out on transgender rights for students.
New orders from the Trump administration say transgender students should be in the locker room of their sex at birth. Debate on those policies makes its way to Rockton, where WIFR's Nathaniel Langley learns how the topic ignites the community.
Hononegah School District calls the social media claim sparking its packed board meeting false. That didn't stop nearly 200 people from speaking on trans students in locker rooms.
It hasn't even been a real problem.
It's a back and forth.
To be on the right side of history, you aren't a bigot.
At the Hononegah School Board meeting,
I really don't understand how that's normal to somebody.
their families, allies, and more speak on transgender students using locker rooms.
And that is simply perversion. That is not equality.
A social media rumor claimed a trans student changed in the girls' locker room.
There's a lot of rooms in this building. I'm sure they could provide a space where they would feel safe.
In a statement, Hononegah superintendent says that allegation is false.
It could have been handled a lot better, I think, than getting the community upset.
We could alleviate this whole problem by having one or two students go to that unidentified locker room.
My gratitude to the school board.
Zoran Petrovich adds his voice as a trans student.
But I didn't realize until this week that we were going backwards.
The Hononegah senior says the law is behind him.
I've done my research, so I know I'm standing behind the law and I know what is right.
His grandma joins as well.
And to watch him grow and thrive has been just a wonderful experience, and I want to support Hononegah continuing to do that for other students.
The superintendent says Hononegah will follow state and federal laws. That means prohibiting discrimination based on gender identity.
Yay, routine, you're following the law.
Republican state lawmakers argue Illinois must follow executive orders from the Trump administration. That means aligning its transgender policies with new federal outlines.
Thank you, Nathaniel. And in his statement, Hononegah superintendent says there are private changing rooms for any student.
The school hasn't required PE uniforms for years.